a classic fan service, but I like the bone wings. I gotta say the outfit, it is 100% just fan service and no creative ideas. Like, I could have made the bra be made out of is it? If I zoom in, do they have the skeleton connected to the bra? Born in the Future's verdict from editing, it does seem that the bra or whatever the outfit is connected to the skeleton, but it's just like a line of random bones on the top of it. And I know what I was trying to go for here. It was on the tip of my tongue and I couldn't think of it at the time. You know that shitty trope they have in animes where it's like, my bra is made of hands grabbing my boobs or something? I was like, well, that's a gothic thing you could have done with skeletons. That's a way you could have somehow made the skeletons involved in the fan service. And the reason why I'm critiquing this is like, oh, she's just a fan service lady and also she's a skeleton lady, and it's like there's no connection between them. You didn't even do the bare minimum of trying to make it a fan servicey skeleton outfit. Like, I wouldn't like it anyway, but I'd hate it less. I do like the elf ears becoming the horns rather than just having the horns in the same place as a regular pixie. I like it has a ponytail now. I really like the wings, I really like the whole aspect of the wings, but it does feel like a parasite growing on the body of an incredibly normal human. A lot less pixie-ish than all the pixies. Popping into the future again to say that would have been genuinely cool if they'd gone like, oh, the monster is just the wings and it possesses human corpses to trick foes with a fake sexy persona or something, but you can just see the flavor text, that's not correct. But I do like the bones going down and spiraling around one arm, that's cool. Of course, I don't like the other arm being a regular, like, armoured glove. I feel like it should have just been all black and then the other one should have been all spiraled. And maybe have one of the legs be all spiraled too. This is meant to be Lilim! Lilim had a totally different design. I think Lilim's design was good in the anime, wasn't it good? Like, people liked it. But anyway, I like the flavor text saying, oh yeah, the bones on its back and left shoulder from the first prey it ever captured. Why the left shoulder? So like, it only had one wing, it made a prosthetic second wing out of killing things? That's a really cool idea. I wish it looked like that. I wish you had like an asymmetry on the wings or something. Or does it just mean the spiraling thing on the arm is the only remnant of the prey? That's really boring. Like, why is the remnant of your prey the tiniest bone you have? Anyway, let's look at the original Lilim. Yeah! I'm sorry, but just look at that. That's like a really fucking bombastic, cool colour scheme. Again, I'm not so fond of just having a regular skimpy bikini going on there and showing a lot more skin than the other ones, but it makes sense. It's literally based on Lilith and her Lilim, like, the actual things that Succubi came from. And oh! I actually did not ever know that it had a creepy fucking eye in its stomach. That's what I wanted from the Suezo one. You can just put it on its belly and it can be fanservice and scary at the same time and not disgusting as in literally a tongue for a vag. And like, I like it again. It's like, it's very clearly fur. It's not an actual bikini. It's really well done. It makes her look so much more demonic on a thing that already looked like a succubus. It's fucked up, it's genuinely scary and also sexy at the same time. There is something for everyone. And then there was something for nothing. We just abandoned literally every single trait from it. What the fuck? Like, it's not a bad design, but it looks like, honestly, like an enemy from Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat or something. If you just took the wings off, I wouldn't even say it was a monster by any definition. I wouldn't even say it looked like a demon. I would say it just looks like a lady in cosplay. Oh, Monster Rancher Advance is the worst possible sprite, holy shit. The first game, we didn't actually have a sprite for it, they literally just recolored the basic Pixie. That's so funny, actually. But I've got to say, the secondary colour of a Pixie actually looks kind of nice. It keeps the actual colour scheme. And it has a vibe to it. It's kind of like a werewolf succubus, like a were-succubus. It's just really cool. It's, again, really classic Halloween, really classic monster movie. I guess maybe what they were going for the new one is like Elvira or like a sexy vampire or like that kind of like just the outfit that a human woman in a horror movie would wear. But it can't compare. Like, if you put those skull wings on that design, that would be absolutely fucking peak. This should be the peak, the most ultimate evolved pixie. Like, that's the whole point. It goes from a succubus to the succubus, the biblical succubus, the progenitor of the whole species. If it had fucked up Skella wings, it would be like, yeah, there is no questioning. Like, if you like tits or not, you can't help but say that's the best thing. Oh, okay, it got even worse. In the online version, that's just so boring, just some generic blonde-haired lady with completely normal wings. I don't understand. They had a really great, excellent, perfect, already wonderful design and abandoned it at the first possible notice, but there's literally the second time it ever came back, it was just gone. Why was this the one monster that deserved to have a totally different redesign? Even Undyne was like, here's a wildly different redesign of the same concept. I feel so fucking sad. I never thought there'd be a day when I was defending, like, the more normal woman option compared to the one with wings. But, like, it gains the wings at the cost of losing every single other trait. Also, in the anime, they added bat ears, which makes it even better, and claws. They did cover up a bit more. She didn't have the eye. They kind of replaced it with the Mu emblem. It kind of still has the vibe. The colour scheme looks even better in the contrast they did with the slightly greyish hair rather than fully black. Both of these designs are great. Like, she had the first redesign and it was good. This design, if she had bone wings, would look really cool. I am so outraged on behalf of her. Once I zoomed in on the model, I could see, oh, her hair is slightly covering her eyes. That's a unique trait none of the other pixies have. That's just a point, because there's one creative thing. It doesn't change the ranking at all. I still don't like this. Also, weirdly, in the model viewer, none of the pixies actually show their wings. I think they might be 2D textures. That's a common shortcut used in DS games. If so, they're really well rendered ones. Oh, another great one for whatever this mysterious night monster is. It's got fan service while also being mostly covered up. It's got those little fishnet stockings added, like, inside the armor. That's a fun idea. I like how its tail is changed into a ponytail. Very military type ponytail made of, like, metal. The armored boots kind of, like, fade into the black of the legs. So, like, oh, is that fur? Is that actually fishnets? Is even the metal part of its body, does it have, like, chitinous horse hooves? And the helmet is great, it's very Valkyrie. It's got, like, a whole bird snout thing going on, and the wings are really great. Like, it's really hard to see again on this resolution, but, like, they've got one armoured stick on the top, and then they all kind of fan out from it. They kind of feel like energy wings radiating from it. The little stripes, the lines of it going gradually from metal to red. And what a great contrast to the rest of it. And, like, again, making the feather on the helmet become the wings. And the name is really great because Jan is apparently the actual way you spell and pronounce Joan of Arc in the original language. I just gotta say though, I'm not quite sure, but it's possible, like, seeing it from the back, it might be that she's got her ass out, and that's the only part that isn't armored. That's kind of comical, but again, the fact it's so small and you can barely see it means it's not very emphasized. You wouldn't notice unless you were, like, me here doing a review, so it's not so bad. But overall, I am kind of bugged by that as a concept design for other designs, where it's just like, oh, we drew 99% of a normal design and then we just had a hole with one random fanservice thing coming out. I did not go and check this in the model viewer because I really don't want to see that in higher resolution, so let's leave this one question unanswered. Okay, we finally have another, like, actually kind of original and cool dragon one. Another one where I've left out the footage from most of those because it was just me repeating the same complaint over and over again. In this case, the complaint was, oh, most of the dragon ones are just the same problem as Zan. It's the same texture, it's the same colours slapped on every single one, but also they tend to swap the head out for a dragon head. And I found that was at least one point of more interestingness. Like, that one rabbit one in the Let's Play, I was going, oh, that looks like a chunky Dorito friend. And unfortunately not friend enough to actually be above average category. I like the hair being all spiked up and kind of Yu-Gi-Oh! I like the dragon thing being like a domino mask over the top. It reminds me of Gallantmon in the Guilmon Evolution line. I think the purple of the hair is a really great contrast. Reminds me of Haunter and Gengar. I like the dragon fin ears being like a little cheek thing that like attaches to this helmet of dragonness going over the top. It's a really well done aspect of like a reptilian humanoid of having these light and dark parts, which again resemble a fanservice outfit despite there being technically no fanservice because she's entirely covered by scales and has no fleshy parts. Really great. The only thing I gotta say is the wings are very normal dragon. The rest of it sounds like, oh, here's a really creative take on a dragon. Maybe if the wings had some kind of purple highlights on them too, or a purple highlight on the end of a tail or something, it could really hold it all together. Like, it was like a longer tail and it had like spikes that were purple or something. I also really like the flavor text saying that, yeah, it is a mask, but it wears the mask to conceal its two gentle eyes full of great sadness. Whoever gazes into them will realise what they're truly missing in life. So yeah, a very fearsome, cool, battle-looking lady, but she actually has the power to give you mental peace. That's really cool. I like the idea of this monster opening like an agony aunt service, like people gather from all around just to ask advice, just stare into her eyes and have beamed into your mind the exact advice of what you're failing at in life. Closer view of a mask here with a zoom in, she's also got little purple stripes on her cheeks. That's a pretty good take on a Naga. I like the way of using the contrast of like the dark scale and the light scale parts. I like how they made a kind of like blazer collar out of the spikes around the chest there. It's a very appealing colour scheme with the purple contrasted with the blue. It's like Lilim's colour scheme. This could have been a more worthy successor to Lilim. It's still nowhere near as good, but like, it's something. Again, we've got some spiky Yu-Gi-Oh hair going on, but with more like a Sephiroth fringe. It's unique how it has a really small lizard tail compared to the other one. And I like the little fins on the elbows and the legs. Again, once again, Hermes. And using the contrast of the lighter pink parts of Naga to be not as bold and contrasting and bad as it was on the colour Pandora's, but it's like, yeah, that's a nice creative part, it's good part, it emphasises, it fits the idea of it being a spangly kind of disco-ish costume. But I would not say that Allura is more beautiful than anything else in the world, which I feel bad saying because it says it has a low self-image. You look awesomer than you think you are, buddy. I'm just a non-sex habit, so the appeal does not hit me. Double feeling bad, surprise reveal, it has one trait I really don't like. I hate that face. Even bigger anime eyes, and I know they're trying to go for like, oh, they're all one colour, they're snake-like, but in reality it just looks like Uwu, especially cutesy anime lady with like literal doughy doll eyes, and it just looks so contrasting and so wrong with the rest of the design. The rest of the design is badass, it's punk rock, it's funky, and then she just has the most innocent, most unimposing face in the universe, and it just feels weird. Again, why not just small slit eyes? Why has only one pixie got small eyes? Okay, we finally have a good Zan. Rising Zan! Samurai Gunman! But actually, Cecil from Final Fantasy. It went from Black Mage to Dark Knight. Adding those golden parts adds so much to the design. And just overall the fact it's designed to look more like actual armour rather than chitin or robot or anything. They knew what they were doing, they knew what would look better for this design. They took the theme and they made it work for the new thing. They didn't just make it black and nothing else. And I also like how the little puffs at the end of the jester ears now kind of look like it's stabby arms. They're also just working as regular ponytails. Deaf Clown. Okay, that one has definitely got to be Joker. Joker was the clown monster before Pororo, the evil clown, and it does actually have scythes for ears this time. None of the previous combinations of this have had scythes, which is what made me question, is it really the Joker? It's interesting how it's a very similar take on the skeleton one. Like, it also has like a Snuggie with a skeleton pattern drawn on it for a body, but it looks more like a fishbone or something. It looks more like an actual biological thing rather than a comedy costume. It's genuinely kind of spooky. I like how it leads into the white of the head, which again makes it look more like a fishbone. Future realization, this may actually be an intentional reference to Welcome to the Black Parade. I'm not just nuts, right? It really looks like that outfit. Was that popular in Japan too? And again, great use for highlights in yellow. And of course, it is a little bit repetitive of having that in the same way as the previous one, listing them both one after another in the menu. But it still works really great because it's very subtle, it's not all over the place. I like having the yellow only be on the rim around like the chompy mouth shape that is now around the face, and then the little highlights on the sides, and of course the pattern on the cape and the hands just going into blood red on the end. Like, that just looks so fucking good. This is speaking of what I said, like, a Pororo has to always be cute. That's like the fundamental aspect to it. But this is what you do if you want to make a Pororo that's cute and also badass. You can't make it not cute, but you can make it also something else. I think the Mochi one should have taken its notes from this. If you want to add a creepy aspect to it, you got to do it in a way that meshes with the rest. You got to do it in a way that doesn't cut down the rest of its aspects. This is another review I missed out. You can just understand from context what I was saying. It's the one that had random chompy mouths on its ears. Okay, now we have a new candidate for the worst Pororo and also the worst monster in the entire game. I hate that texture. That doesn't look like gold. That looks like you auto-recolored it in Photoshop or something and didn't check the contrast levels. Like, where is the contrast? Where is the shading? You've got two shades of yellow that are really close to each other. One's mildly oranger, but it's not oranger enough to even make it out. Like, you have to fucking zoom in to see. And like, I like the idea of, hypothetically, the horns being like, was this just an idea for a duck and one that got recolored because they look like duck heads? They have no relation anyway to Garly? There's nothing Garly on it? It's just the colour of Garly, but it's not even that. It's not even the right colour of gold. What the fuck is this? It looks like the equivalent of those badly made Pokemon fan game sprites which have no outlines for some reason. It just looks wrong. It just looks wrong, but there should be shading. There should be shading anywhere on the image. Did this look better in a different game? Is it just like an error on the DS? Yes! Yeah, exactly. It's just the guy, but there's shading. What the fuck happened to you? You have lines, you have definition. Also, this blurry screenshot of what it was in the Japanese-only original game appears to look better, but it may just be the bad quality of the scan. Yeah, seriously, just like, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. There is something wrong. The something wrong has been kept for all future ones. It's still on the app game too. Just look at that! It actually has shiny shading. The orange parts are darker enough to be noticed. What happened to you? What happened to you, my son? This is the other removed one. It looks very similar, except it has a face drawn on its belly, and it's got a fan on its head. So, is it meant to be like a guy cosplaying a Falco, but he couldn't get all the details right? Or is it like a Falco wearing a mask on its stomach? It's like a reference to some kind of Japanese festival. Is that what the fan is for? Again, you just can't see the details. This is literally twice the resolution of the actual game. I still can't see anything. The wiki says it's a false fake human face, but I can see there's a zipper underneath the face. So is it meant to be a guy in a costume of a Falco? Yep, zooming in on the model, there is definitely a human face in the chest and a zipper. Oh, okay. It's pretending to be a guy dressed in a costume, but it actually isn't. So its name truly is Dummy Falco. It's not actually a dummied out monster. It was actually in the Japanese, and it's just called Dummy Falco because pretending to be a dummy of a Falco, but it's actually a Falco pretending to be a guy wearing a dummy of a Falco. I mean, that's 10,000 levels of confusing, but it's actually kind of funny. You actually made the basic boring Falco design a little bit more interesting, just by giving it this personality of being so insane. We are now here to the base design for the plant. I don't have too much to comment on it. It's a very normal plant. I like the unusual body shape it has. I like how it's just a mouth with no eyes. I like how the body is underneath and the plant is on top. Usually with plant monsters you tend to have the face on the flower. That's just how it tends to go. And here you have kind of a body shape that you would expect for the flower to be the head, but instead the head is where the torso would be. And I like how it has 4 little legs. All my compliments are just on the body shape. The actual design itself is like, yep, that's green and that is a flower. It's a very detailed flower, I gotta say, so that's a surprisingly good texture for the DS. This one had a noticeably different design in Monster Ranchers 1 and 2 in the anime, and I liked it more. It had 3 different flowers, and the flowers were its heads. Like, it only has a mouth on the main head, and 3 separate heads, and they all have little sets of eyes. I just really liked that. Let me go look it up. The image they have is really low quality, but yeah, me of the past of the tangent here going, hey, I remember it still having a mouth, why doesn't it still have the mouth? I really went through to look at all the anime and was like, oh, did the anime add the mouth? Was I misremembering that it always had the mouth? No, it does always have the mouth. It's just on the original models in the original game, you couldn't see the mouth until it opened. It was like hidden. So I've edited that entire thing out. Monster Rancher 3, were you obsessed with making like really generic cutesy redesigns of stuff? Because I like that so much less. Just adding these very cliche anime cute cheek marks, and the body is round and more generically chibi head shaped now, rather than being a funny torso. And just I'm glad immediately Monster Rancher 4 fixed all these problems and made it a bit more. Because that's the thing. Plant was never one of the cute monsters. It was never in that category. It was never intended to be that way. It was the quirky, funny, cool ones like Suezo. It's like, it's not meant to be disliked, it's meant to be loved, but it's like, it's charming. It's like, it's funny, it's endearing. It's not just a cutesy wootsy oo no thoughts, head empty. And I feel it really does a disservice to reduce it to that. In the space of one generation, we went from funny to, just like everything else. And I was seeing every single design is adding more and more to it. It's becoming more a proper mixing. I like that art. Okay, so I guess they still canonize the 3 flowers do exist. You can just summon them from attacks. That's nice. I do wish they would just replace the big flower with the 3 flowers again. I like the 3 flowers. Having those and also the quirky funny mouth is like peak. But like, oh, can we have both? Okay, Monster Farm Lagoon, the second MMORPG, I respect you a lot for finally bringing that design back and also having the mouth. I don't like how you did the mouth though. I like the mouth on the one we have now with the flowers of the original one. This bit here, which like it's clearly divided and it's got like more spider-like legs and it feels like more of like, oh, it's a half organic creature. It feels like this would like split apart and be like open like an orca mouth. I like it when it's a cute funny mouth. Like generally adding this one cute trait into a quirky and funny monster, you get the best of both worlds. It looks really terrible in Monster Rancher Explorer. This is how it looked in the anime. Peak design. I also really like how here they just happen to be drawing the leaves to look kind of fuzzy and wing-like. That's nice. Okay, Bug Flower. Everything Colour Pandora is really funny. I like how it is literally just its hands are Colour Pandora, it's waving them around. I like how only the one in the main body doesn't have eyes, like the regular plant. I like how all the legs are like tiny segments, multiple Colour Pandora pale boxes stuck together, and it kind of looks like a spine, and it's funky and it's cool. I like how even the flower is duplicated, it's got multiple points on it. It's a very cool and funny design, I like it. I also like the flavor text saying it has to eat a lot because it has 3 mouths. So even though it can collect nutrients with its feet, you still have to pay loads for actual food. Okay, Mochi Plant, not so fussed on that one. It really is just, again, a texture. I mean, it's kind of funny making the plant leaves just be really long, scrunked up mochi arms. And they kind of look almost like long dog ears. It kind of feels like that could have worked well for a Baku subreddit. But yeah, it is just, again, just a texture of a mochi on it. That's just a mochi. I do like at least when the flower becomes a sakura blossom because mochi is, it's based on the Japanese food mochi and, like, the sakura flavour of it, and its power in the anime was summoning sakura blossoms. I don't know if it still does that in the games, but it's a nice quirk of the character. But yeah, probably not my favourite. I generally think that would have been would look so much better with those arms being the Baku's ears. I could easily imagine myself laughing out loud if I saw a tiny Baku like that. I have a new monster in the entire fucking game, I'm sorry. This is the only thing so far that could potentially compete on the level of Fratley. I fucking adore this. How the shit do I get this? How do you unlock Joker in the actual game? I need this. Like, it's just such a good design. Like, it's not just a skull. It's like a fucked up mutant, half skull, half flesh thing with amber in the eye sockets gooping out. And the back of the head being all fluff and fuzz. Like, it's definitely, like, based on an actual, like, a zombie with still parts of the hair stuck on. I love it, and the leaves have become scrunked up skeleton hands with like semi-realistic gore, like it's in yellow rather than blood, but like gory stuff around the part where the fingers break open and the claws come out. And also how it's just an upper skull, like I love the Abomination from Final Fantasy IX. I don't know why, that's just a peak of cute and endearing to me. Everyone knows I have a thing. I just like fucked up mutant and zombie monsters. I genuinely and ironically think they're endearing. I don't get why people think they're scary. I'm just like, oh, that's a creature that is ill and needs a hug. And this is peak energy, just the scrunkly up of the hair and the flower bursting. Like, I like how the flower is so elaborate and it has the fucked up demon on it. It's like the flower is draining all of the energy from some actual human skull that was possessed and turned into this monster. Anyway, the Abomination from Final Fantasy IX also has only the top of a skull, but underneath the skull, coming out of where the mouth would be, is a bunch of tendril little legs that it crawls around on. And I have no idea how it eats. I don't know if it has like an extra mouth in between all the tentacles, but it's really cool. It's a massive fucking human-like head the size of like an entire human's body. And there's no explanation for why it exists like this, and it's great. And it's a shame that they didn't actually take the opportunity to put in the flavor text, yeah, this used to be a human that got possessed by the plant, like, the plant is the real monster, the head used to be a different species or something. It's the victim of a curse. You could still interpret it that way. It could have still been someone else that was turned into a skeleplant. I like the idea of them being able to spread like zombies. I love the idea of a zombie that's like pure white and albino-ish, and blends in so perfectly with the skeleton parts you can't even tell where the flesh is coming off. I love the goopy texture of this amber-like, it's not even like blood, they picked an amber colour. It really feels like, yeah, like the sap from a plant. It's a perfect mix of plant and ghosty skeleton spooky goo. I adore you, I want to hug you, I want you to be the next monster I raise after a lovely dragon dog. It is now our mission, if we let's play this game again, I will find out how the fuck you get Joker, and our mission is to find out how the fuck you get Joker and make exactly this thing. And then I will make it my pal and I will feed it treats. And it will have the happiest life in the universe, and not even one scary thing will ever happen to it. I love them. I love them so much. Holy shit. Also, apparently it can kill dragons. I hope that's not literal, like, oh, you can only unlock Joker after you've already unlocked dragons, so it'll probably take ages and ages and ages, but fingers crossed, mate. I can't believe that a game I haven't played in 5 years had exactly my peak kind of monster design hidden in it all along. I'm going to make this the thumbnail. The entire quest of me rating all the monsters is now just the slow timer ticking down from the moment I finally see this. As much as it pains me, I'm going to have to move on. Because I need to finish up this video before my throat completely dies on me. Okay, Mandrake, there are now 2 good dragons. And one that should have been a dragon. I like the fucked up fangs. I like how it resembles the idea of a stitched up mouth, but it isn't. I like how we've got these scrungle bits, like the fangs themselves have been cutting up the gums around it, like it can't hold in its own power. It really gives the idea of like, oh, this is a forbidden combination, this shouldn't be right. I like how the texture of the roots is using the usual colours. Like, exactly what I said, like using it in reverse, going down to the darker colour to give an effect. Here it looks like roots. I like how the leaves are like really thin dragon wings, really like insectile dragon wings. I like how the mouth looks like the old design. I like it, it's wider and it looks like the friend I miss. I mean, I like the cute little mouth, but I didn't even miss that. I slightly like the anime mouth a little bit more, and I like how the flower, this is the second one in a row which has a cool eye in it. I guess ones which have a cool eye in it are the more powerful ones, so I guess the ones that we lost in Monster Rancher 1 were the most powerful of all plants, because they had 6. But yeah, I love the aesthetic. I love how it works together to make a whole collective face, which is a unique trait for the monster, because, I mean, the one we just had didn't have. It had a whole separate face. I didn't notice that. That's the only plant we've seen which had a full face on the body, not just a mouth. That's a really unique and cool trait. I love it. It does add to the impression that it's sprouting from a head rather than the head being part of the body. I love it. I love this guy. I love this guy a lot, but not quite as much as that previous design, but I love this design a lot. These two should be best friends and siblings. If this game allowed me to raise 2 monsters like Digimon World Next Order, these 2 would be the pals. I also like the creative use of the lore of how its powers work. Rather than breathing fire, its petals become boiling hot and can burn skin to the touch. That's really cool. I also like Mandrake, like quite literally a Mandrake is a plant monster, but also it's got Drake in it and it's a dragon. I like that. It's a good pun. It's not quite as good as Dragon Quest pun, where they quite literally have a Mandrake, like it's a dragon man called Mandrake, and the ones which actually look like plants have completely different names. Okay, Coconutty is a cool name. That doesn't remotely look like Coconutty. That does look, again, a cool interpretation of Henga. I love how they made the plant a satellite dish with floating parts to it. I love how the ends flicker. I like how the stem of the plant has become like a gripping claw you would find on a crane. I like the plant wing leaf things being like, what is even the name of it? It's like some kind of mecha parts for like the equivalent of a jet ski, but like in space. I like how the end in the eyes of the actual thing. I wonder if it can shoot lasers from it. It also has the regular eye in a regular place you'd expect. All of these ones so far have had interesting quirks on the usual expected plant's body shape. Here we have no mouth and instead just an eye. It's cool. I also like how the back has this little port. It's like it's slightly poking out. It's not perfectly round. These little aspects to it make me think, oh, that's a realistic way you would program a plant monster. This is one we did see in the Let's Play. And I couldn't appreciate this design as much because it wasn't displaying this well. Like, obviously to me it didn't look as bad as it did on the actual signal that went through, but I still couldn't see its design as well. Like, I didn't have a big monitor back then. I already liked it, but I just thought, oh, that's a robot plant. I didn't think that's a really well designed robot plant. But it is. But I don't know why it's called Coconutty. It doesn't look like a coconut in any way. It doesn't even look like a palm tree in terms of what the satellite looks like. I would actually really like to see a plant which is themed after a palm tree and a coconut. I think that would be really cute. They should make that a separate thing. And here is Mochi, which is the unofficial mascot of the series. Sueza was the original mascot, and Mochi was a mascot of the anime. They kind of tried to make it a mascot of the whole series. They're still fans of both, but everyone agrees that Hair is the actual most popular monster. It's a strange idea. They never changed it to that. Like, Hair has still been rated the top #1 monster in the entire series, even to this day. Anyway, Mochi is the partner monster in the anime, and like, yeah, I appreciate it, like, for the idea of specifically making a monster to be more cute and marketable. I'm glad they didn't, like, compromise their beliefs for that. It's not just fully cliche boring or anything. It's still a quirky idea of, like, a mochi sweet monster, like, turned into a half turtle, half, like, kappa duck thing with a little mouth. And the way they interpret its shell thing is kind of like a tatami mat on its head, like the way it rolls up, the way the texture is a little bit strange. Like, it's a nice combination of so many different things. Oh, and the reason the way it has a shell is because mochi sweets in Japan are served with a leaf around them, and that's a reference to it, but instead it's a turtle thing. And it's cool, the idea of like a turtle that's evolved to not have a shell, rather its whole body is soft and very defenseless. But that's the thing, is like, it's the exact opposite. It's very bouncy and it can tank attacks in the opposite way. It's firm and springy. But yeah, what I mean is, like, yeah, it's generically cute, but it also still keeps the identity of the series as the one with really weird and silly monsters. They didn't go too far. But unfortunately, that is still my overall opinion on the species. I can list all these logical reasons why the inspirations and the development that went into it is interesting, but when I look at the actual thing, it's not interesting to me. It does still hit my brain the same way as, that's a generic thing I'm supposed to find cute, and I don't really. But I do like some of its sub-breeds, so let's move on to talking about those. Oh, I like you! I like when sometimes there's this one monster which doesn't look like its component parts. Like, that as a quirk is a good thing. I only dislike it for Falco because every combination doesn't look like Falco. Here, it's good. It's what I said about combining the themes of the monster rather than the literal colours or anything. Making it be a different type of fish, one with a very distinctive, cool colour scheme that works really well. Clownfish are very chubby and cute. And I like how the dark, like, ocean blue of the helmet scale thing, it works really well. I love this. This is fun. And also, as someone, obviously, like, now in the era we live in, like, I don't know if this came out before or after Finding Nemo, but a mixture of a blue fish with a clownfish, you immediately think of that. Oh, okay, it's literally a reference! I should have read the flavour text. Sometimes it gets sad when it thinks of its father. Yeah. Okay, even more based, I appreciate it. They could have really completed it by having one little yellow spot on the helmet, but, I mean, it's already there on the mouth. That's my new favourite mochi of all time. I don't remember the hair mochi being this cute in the original. I think the proportions look really funny. I think the helmet going into the hair that was already there, it looks good. It is more similar to the proportions of how the hair was on the original hair, actually. The hair, look at the tiny ear proportions are really cute here. Just the body, the whole thing just being a torso with no separate head, it looks really nice. It is, again, combining two of the cutest and most popular monsters. It looks lovely. I like. So this is where the chubbiness of the hair finally ended up. It literally has healing effects of cuddling its belly. Okay, retroactively, I'm not as mad about the other thing about saying hair has to be skinny now. If it's like, there are some positive chubby monsters, there are some monsters that are supposed to be skinny, there you go. But I also just don't like retconning that monster that was previously fat is now not allowed to be fat. But anyway, a new fat version has emerged from the ether to bring us all the joy we once had. It generally does kind of look like Hair's belly just popped off the original design and came to life and like grew a new head. Okay, that makes it slightly scarier, but I still really like it. I'm gonna look up. I don't remember liking that in the anime. Maybe they just never showed this in the anime. Okay, no, there was no fusion with it in the. That's so odd. Like, the game that introduced Mochi never had a fusion with the other most popular fluffy monster. Oh, it has been a one game I played, Monster Rancher Advance 2, where it was just a recolor. No wonder I didn't fucking recognize it. And it has never been redesigned because it was already perfect. I love you so much. I wish I could retroactively go back and put you in the anime. You deserve it. You should be friends with Mum Mew. Pangy Mochi. Oh, I love this pal. It's wild how much cuter Mochi is without the lips. I like it on the main design. It's quirky. It makes it more of like a kappa mixed with a turtle mixed with a mochi. But it shouldn't have to keep them on every other design variant of other things. Sometimes the design does work better without lips. This definitely makes it. I wouldn't say it looks like a penguin. I would say it looks like a beluga whale. Its head looks very whalish or orca-ish. If they wanted to make it a penguin, they could have shaded like, oh, it's like a darker version of a tiger. It's like a more black version of a tiger. Or, well, left the lips on because a penguin does have a beak. Yeah, why did they do that? But But I like the idea that Tiger's texture on different things just gives like the general coldness tundra vibe and can become a totally different monster. But also I'm now sad that we will never have an actual penguin mochi where it is just a variant where it's fully looking like a penguin. But this is just a really cute design. Oh, they still wasted a slot on this guy. This guy was called Most in the anime, and I found it fun because, I mean, that's just a good name for like, oh, it's the special super secret rare mochi, it's most, it's the best. Their Hue Gain is meant to be a mochi just painting itself white to look special, but the actual legendary one named Most is an individual who is legendary. It's extremely weird because the flavor text here seems to be referencing the actual Most, the individual character, so why didn't he keep his name? But also the design is just boring, it truly is just... It's just a white mochi. Without all the additional lore and stuff hyping it up, there's no reason to be excited about this. And also, I have no idea what it's being fused with, this kind of like, is that a robot or something? Whatever it is, I'm sure it could have made a better result than literally just exactly the same guy, but one colour has changed. And they should not have wasted a slot on this. They should have especially not have wasted a slot of merging up someone. This used to be just a question mark, unique variant. Oh, Mochi! Oh, Warfred! I like how they did the helmet. They did it in segments. It's like it slapped a big slab of chainmail on his head. It is a bit basic. It is truly just of a monster wearing armor. It's not as creative as the other ones we've seen with this armor thing, but I do kind of like how having the feather of the thing in the front. For some reason, it resembles like cliche thing you'd have for like Indian characters with a turban in like Aladdin, like genie fiction. I don't know if it's trying to go for a genie in any way. I'm not sure why it would be going for a genie in any way. Probably just a coincidence, but it's a unique positioning of Lefebvre, and that's like maybe it's just trying to go for a unicorn or something. But yeah, it looks really cute. Not too creative, but really cute. You wasted 2 fucking slots on a recolor of the base model, and you wasted them both on actual combinations. Like, Monol is one of the funniest monsters. You really wasted that on this. The only thing you took away from the giant concrete slab of death is the black colour. It's generally just a mattress that attacks people. I love it. What a shame. Okay, rapid fire throwing out there cooler ideas you could have had for a Monol fusion. Squelchy, Square Mochi. It becomes all blocky and funny, and it's interesting to see a very round monster is now not. Obsidian Mochi. The whole thing is now textured black. It looks like an actual statue. It has no visible eyes anymore. It keeps that scary part of Monol. Fuse it in a thematic way. Statue Mochi. Actual statue, not just all over in one texture. It's inspired by Greek gods or something like that. Throw in a little one of those laurel crowns on the top. 4. Dark Mochi. Actual demonic evil counterpart of Mochi. Has more aspects to the design instead of just changing colour. 5. Comedic thing. It's regular Mochi, but the helmet on its back has now been replaced with Monol. It's just a big square that's rolled over its head. 5, 6, wherever we are. Pillow Mochi. Actually going with the joke of Monol being a big mattress. This is now a comfy, cozy Mochi carrying a pillow, wearing a big blanket, all stitched up fabric themed, and it's cute. You see what I mean? There's so many things you could do with this concept. But I like the flavor text at least saying it tried to blacken its heart, but it didn't go over too well with the fan base, so it killed the idea. I mean, at least you're acknowledging it's shit. Funny way of saying it's shit, but why is it in the game if you think it's shit? Also, why didn't you just change the colour of the eyes so they stand out better against the black? Why isn't this penguin? Why isn't it a penguin? Why did you not put an actual penguin mochi? I want to see a penguin mochi. It's not a bad idea to have an Oni mochi, but I don't think this looks very well. It's literally just a mochi wearing trousers with a cliche Oni pattern. They didn't even make an actual loincloth like a real Oni. And the horns are so tiny, and they just gave it mildly angry. Why do they waste so many slots on things that are so close to being exactly the same thing, just one colour different? Like, at least this one is also wearing pants, but that's about it. What a shame. Also an outdated reference to What's Up. What's that got to do with Oni? For once they did something with a Zam. They gave it the body type. I really like that. I like completely changing the model in every single way to make it like, again, it doesn't look almost like a robot. It looks like a biological insect mutant. But I love like the thin legs, the scrunkly things, the tiny little feet, the tail being like that. Like it having like spikes and stuff going out. Like, oh, I love it. The horns going to the sides of the head and everything. Like it feels like the hair shape is not made of hair anymore. It's like biologically into the skin. You go on the toppest tier of Zams. I wish they'd all done this. I wish they'd all been like a horrifying skeletal fin version of the relevant monster. That would have been really cool. Also, I like how the flavor text says it's beautiful. It is beautiful. That genuinely scared me when I pulled up on screen. Okay, it's not scary when viewed straight on from the head on, but the eyes looked oddly human. Like I mean, I don't know how it's like it's glowing eyes in a socket, but the combination of that and the shape of how the mouth goes, it looks like a stretched human smile. I like this a lot. Oh, that one and the dragon one are really cut from the same cloth of two, like, demonic monsters, and I love them. Not even like a skeleton dog, it's like a combination skeleton demon. It's like a demon mimicking the shape of a skeleton. I like the spikes coming out from the sides, like where the hair was going. Like the body slowly granulating into this dark, actual demonic back half, like the skeletal front half. I like how it's like, is this granite, is this stone? There is actually the grey wolf, which is like the golem and tiger combo, which is a very boring design, but had a very prominent and sad role in the anime. So a lot of people have a soft spot for it, even though it's one of the more boring recolors. It's supposed to be like a tribute to it. It really feels like the same design, but like corrupted by an evil force, which is literally what happened in the anime. He didn't get a new design for it. I really like this. I also like how it's based on the Barghest, which is a real demonic ghost dog thing. Barghest's mission was decided the day it was born in hell. That is to completely strip its opponents of all happiness. Its eerie eyes glow dimly in the dark as it awaits its next victim. This was built to destroy. All the monsters so far, even the scariest ones, have not been like, this is irrecoverably evil in every possible way. It was built to murder humanity. I like this. This is a very fitting design for the scariest of all the scary types. I love it. But it's kind of a shame that very few Joker ones we've seen so far have had any kind of aspect of the scythe. I was going to say, if they made the horns for scythe, if they made the tail of scythe, it would be a bit much. This design is exactly enough. And I do really like a highlight of the gold horns and the gold eyes being the only yellow in the design. Really, really good. If you saw this thing approaching you in an alley, you would know it was approaching you in an alley, and you get scared, but the closer it gets, the more you get to see of it. Ooh. Really, really good. I can't wait to see the Joker. Everything it's been making has been gold. Jaguar Beast. Okay, a bit repetitive from Zam. We have two that are just like, here's a chitinous, thin, very different body with no fur. But I like this too. It's distinctive enough, the fact that it's very top heavy, the front of it is still big, it has that hunch on it. It kind of like reminds me of Triceramon, that kind of like how the head works. I don't think it's intentional, but I also gotta say, it just feels like a bit generic bug and not specifically beetle, not specifically beacon. Would you believe it was also not meant to be that? Aside from having the colours, I would not have predicted this was a beacon in any way. I would have just gone, oh, is that a Zam? If we didn't already have a better Zam. And it's the only thing I can say I like it. I like the tail being multiple little segments like that and having a swish. It's very cool. And this is the only mention in this game of Worm. Yeah, very many of these beacons have just been one-to-one copies of the previous Worm sub-beast, but just adding something on top of it. I think in this case, if I remember correctly, the Worm version of Tiger did not have a totally different body shape. It was just kind of textures on the same thing. Which, again, because it was introduced in Monster Rancher 1 and 2, and that's all they could do. Let's look it up. It's so much fucking better, and I cry. I forgot it had the worm eyes, and the mouth being all scrunched up like a beak like that, and the tail having the spine that it shoots out to attack people, and the effects of, like, the bits of it that are the flesh, like, leaning into, like, almost bone-like bits going in the legs, and, like, oh! And also, Jagged Hound is the correct way of saying its name. Yakuto is just how they say jagged in Japanese. I do gotta laugh though at how weirdly formatted the wiki can be sometimes. Originally a direct romanization of jagged, the German word for hunting. Later its name is short for jagged, but also it could come from jagged, the German word for hunting. One of these should have been edited out. Oh, look at that promotional of it breathing out the smoke. I had actually never got this in the game and stuff. I didn't even know this was here. I only remember seeing this like in the background of the anime. Oh god, that's the enemy tangent. It's even cuter in the anime. The way they did the eyes with a little smile. Oh! I must have not seen this episode because I remember I saw there was one in the background of Grey Wolf's pack in the anime, and I was in the opening song, and that's the only time I thought I saw this design before, but I must have not seen this episode. I know I haven't actually finished watching the anime. One of the days I gotta get the American box set and finally rewatch it all. But like, oh my god, apparently there's a whole episode about it. It looks like this. Look at this. I don't know why it's slightly yellow, but it's the rest of it is adorable. It's kind of weird how both this and Henga both became a little bit more yellow in the anime. You'd think they would have made just one of them so their colour schemes would be more different. But anyway, oh, it's got all the energy of Worm. Worm and also a parcel of butter. That is a friend. And this one ain't. Like, genuinely, it could have looked so good with these proportions and those eyes. Even the thing around the head, the thing I think that looks like Triceramon here, it was more jagged, and the texture on the leg. Put the stinger back on the tail, so help you God. What a shame, what a shame. Oh yeah, I have to briefly interrupt here to say, I put this at the end of the review. This happened right after the bit where I saw the anime Jagdhound. Seeing that image, it was in the exact AMV I saw as a kid, which spoiled the ending of the second season of the anime for me and made me cry forever. I can confirm it still does exactly that. I wouldn't recommend watching it unless, of course, you've already seen the end of the second season of the anime and you know what's going on. I wouldn't want to spoil people. If you had really good AMV, look up Monster Rancher Close to Your Heart, and it's the one in Japanese with MAD in the title. It is just as hard-hitting as the first time. To give a brief summary of this, the reason Monster Rancher anime is so good, it has really huge, massive stakes compared to, like, Pokemon Digimon at the time. People compared it to, like, it's like a Mon game crossed with like Lord of the Rings or an epic D&D campaign. It's like a party of 5 monsters. They're all like fully speaking characters. They all have this huge role, and we're going up against this massive evil overlord army, and it feels like a real genuine, like, it's difficult. You don't just win every week against the baddies. Like, they're literally called the baddies. It's kind of funny how simplistic the terms are for how incredibly deep and existential and horrifying the plot can get at times. Like, we've got a woman getting her wings ripped out by some guy's bare hands. We've got people dying, sacrificing all the time, and this AMV is like a montage of every single friend they lost against the way, leading up to the spoiler of the big sad ending thing. And oof, it hits you in the heart. Sorry for the brief tangent interruption to the entirety of the review, but go watch that AMV, or go watch the anime, or go watch both of those things and have a feeling. It's literally peak fandom content. I can't hype this up enough. Also, the Ducken off the shit. I didn't know Ducken was really well animated in the anime. Evidently I've missed that episode. I have to see the end of the anime. I am going and I'm ordering the American DVD. And then Bonnford did. It cost $100. Also Worm. Also, I rewatched the Worm episode. You can watch the Worm episode legally on YouTube. You can suffer like I did. An excellent piece of cinema. You know what else is an excellent piece of cinema? That's why there are 2 hard-crushing AMVs for this, and I don't know which one was the one I saw as a kid. This one equally dredged the cries from my eyes for all of time. I will be linking both in the description, and you owe it to yourself, if you are okay with spoilers, to go and cry. Otherwise, Go and also pay $100 for a DVD like the fool you are. I could not, in fact, buy the anime twice. I checked, and the very limited release that Discotek did of the subbed version is no longer available on their website or on any auction sites like it. Someday I will spend exorbitant amounts of money on that for maybe next Christmas. And now back to the reviews. It's already great and it could have been better. Pod dog. I do like this, I like this. Again, it's like the one I planned. It's a very, like, abstract and functional way that you would make a robot mimicking an animal. And it's very different in terms of its model. I like how the face is just no ears, no hair, no horns. Just, it's a practical creature. It's like a worm-like head with just nothing but a light that can look into things. It makes me feel like, oh, this is like a search and destroy monster. This is something that's meant to investigate ruins and fit through tiny gaps. I like how abstract and totally devoid of anything doggish the face is except just the nose under all these bits and bobs of eyes and zoom lenses. Like the tails, like basically I've actually seen like robots imitating jaguar tails like look exactly like that. It's really like it's a fusion of like every quadrupedal animal. It doesn't even function as a dog, but you can totally see how an alien species would create something to mimic a dog in this way. Very good. See, now we have a good Garly. Like, I mean, it's not super in terms, like, it doesn't really have a lot of traits of the Garly, but you can tell that's a Garly. Like, it's not literally a sun mask, but it's got bright sun-coloured hair in the shape of a sun in the mane. Like, I like how they changed the location of where the mane is. It's further, so it looks a little more like a hairstyle. I like the design being so more top-heavy, the back legs being different, the tail being a little puffed and again puffed out like a sun, and the horns being so much bigger, and it's giving a sense that this thing is just designed to run and spear you the hell through. Much I like the design, like the pale pink together with the gold, I think it'd be much more recognisable as Garly if it did go full white, like Garly's cape. I feel like they just picked like what would actually look better versus what would look like more like Garly. They could have also just made the horns white, they could have just made something there. But I have no idea what it means this new type of monster was created from an online network. Like, that doesn't fit with Garly, and maybe it's just like a DLC monster and that's what it means? Oh, this was a redesign of that! I didn't even think these connect. I just thought it was a totally different design for mixing Garly and Tiger. Like, maybe it mixed in the opposite direction or something, but this was one of the best. I really loved the whole fucking actual mask of the same monster and the elaborate cover. This is what I mean about none of these have looked like Garly. This is a thing that looks like Garly while also clearly being the original monster. It's great, and it shows what you can do, even with not even changing the model, just changing the texture, you can still do this. And then they just didn't. I like this, but this just, it feels like a sparkle dog, it feels like a legendary Pokemon, it should be totally different. This, again, it would work great as a question mark, just random novelty thing. It's such a letdown, it's such a fucking letdown. And that's what it means, it's the redesign that the online game had for the base form of Tiger. And I like the idea of finding a way to reference it. Pick literally any other fucking combination of the monster. Don't pick the one which had one of the most iconic and cool designs. Pick something that actually fucking looks like a funky unicorn. This could have been a mix with the funky fish thing. Make a pink version of this. Make it the fish that it has lovely fat patterns. It has lovely swirls. Add some like ribbons on its shoulders or something. There you go. It looks like a majestic and cool and almost feminine version of the thing. It does not look like a Garly. We've lost a really fucking good Garly. I do actually kind of like it with a dragon on. It's interesting to see a dragon with like vestigial legs and arms. Like, it's got Arrowhead's head. These traits, which were very boring on Nessie, are very unusual on a dragon. So it's a cute version of a dragon. I like that. It's a very friendly, motherly looking dragon. But it just makes me miss Arrowhead. Where did Arrowhead go? Like, it wasn't even replaced by any other thing that could really compete with its niche. There's no other lobster monster. It was nice. It was fun. Was it really that unpopular? But then again, Worm was popular and they got rid of it, so I can't understand. That's close to one I actually like. Again, I like the creative way of interpreting how they would make a robot mimic of this, rather than just a texture over the same thing. That's the reason I don't like the Ducken, when it's just a texture over the same thing, rather than, oh, this is how a robot would mimic the same shape. Like, you can see here, it's got the segments, it's the robotics visible underneath of how it moves the neck and how it moves the tail. And the head is not actually a shape, it's not actually the same shape, it's like, it just ends in a flat point and a hanger head. Interesting idea. And also, as you can see, the front and the back flippers are designed differently because, like, that's how you would make them work on a robot. Good ideas. I still don't like it, but it's the best Lesion we've had so far. There was thought put into it. Originally I was going to split this up and only start doing the rare monsters in their own separate video. I've realised it just works better with each episode being around an hour, so it's going to be the first few rare monsters here, and then we carry on next time. Good design, bad fusion. I really like this idea. I like it being like a mechanical plant thing, or like wood parts and vines in between and stuff, but it doesn't look specifically very pumpkin because it's a more brownish take on the pumpkin, more like it should be for the plant. It's a shame. You could make this like instantly and easily a really good Pancho fusion by just changing the head. The head is now coloured like Pancho. It's implied like it's Pancho operating a plant robot. And it's actually, it's a really good, it's a great design for a robot made of plants. I like the little heels being tiny leaves. But yeah, again, if not for the colours, you would not guess what it was. Well, you would at least guess what this was, simply because it's the girl one and Pixie is the girl one. But still, it's like everything you fuse with Zan just looks like Zan and nothing else. But I mean, this one, the excuse is, oh, it's the female counterpart to Zan. Actually, I like the way you describe it in the flavor text, because they don't use any female pronouns. It creates as a female counterpart to Zan, but it didn't turn out as planned. So, did it fail at being a female counterpart because it's not female, it doesn't identify as any gender? That would be a really cool and based idea, but it might just be a translation error. I guess I like the design. It's a weird idea to have the mantis things be coming out of its neck, like above its chest. I guess they were kind of going with it being a scarf, but the fact it doesn't link up at the back makes it not look like a scarf. Born of the Future, this may possibly be how it always works for all the Zans when looking at them in the model view. It's still really hard to tell. Like, just from this, I'd say it looks like it's coming from the middle of the chest instead, like underneath the neck. But it's very much not, that's not how it works in any of the animations. And I gotta say, I don't like that as much as them coming from the shoulder blades and being like wings. It just seems a really odd place to put it, and they're not really doing anything with it. Like, for example, Prince Sidon from Legend of Zelda. On the head, on the neck is a weird place to put a fishtail, but they put effort into the design. It looks like a swooshing hair and stuff like that. Here there's just nothing to really make it make sense why it's on the neck, because it doesn't look like a scarf. And it's a pretty good design for a feminine looking robot. It's kind of weird it has a built-in pair of undies, but yeah, that tends to be how girly robots are designed and stuff. I like its helmet. It's very like Angemon, but with ears. It's one step above the others. It's slightly recognisable as being a pixie. I don't like this one. I don't like this one. Ryoko has a nice guy image and gave up its combat skills for very firm, supple skin. Its only flaw is mesmerising itself gazing into the mirror, so it's a vain metrosexual guy, which makes no sense because he looks hideous. Like what is even going on here? It's just a noodle. It's just a stick. It's just a naked guy. But the and the sides are leaves. I mean, I guess it's a reference to Mochi being based on having a leaf, but Mochi doesn't actually have a leaf on it, so it looks weird. And the scythe things going above the armors on the shoulders, which are clipping into the lump on the back of its head, I guess it's supposed to be referencing the shape on the back of Mochi's head made of the armor. Like look at that, it's shaped like the armor, but it's not the armor. It's the same color as the skin, and the armor stops on the head instead. And once up on the arms, look like cocktail toothpick holders surrounded by like churros. Massive Mochi feet on the bottom, just completely out of scale with the rest of the thing. This is the worst Zan so far, I'm really sorry. Sometimes just putting a texture on the thing doesn't work, especially when it's a humanoid thing. It's just gonna look naked. Especially don't characterize it as the beautiful one when it's really not. Okay, finally a good Lesion. Finally some good food. It reminds me of Marine Devimon. I like how it's going. It's still mostly similar colours, but it works well with the dark and the lights going on. It also reminds me of Accelerate from Ben 10. I like the tubes, like it's feeding the water into it, and then its scythe thingies are made of water. The claws being made of water, like the water in the knees. Like it feels like it's a living water creature that was built a robot body to live on land. But it's a shame that the flavor text doesn't actually say that, because that would have been cool. And then this one I saw, this was one of the ones I got in a fusion. I was so happy with it. I can't believe, of all things, they chose Zam to become Graffiti. This was again a separate monster in the original game. I was so happy it comes back. It was one of the ones that had a crazy unlock condition in Monster Rancher 1 and 2. You had to get your fame to a certain amount and drop your fame to a certain amount within the right amount of time, which would make your fans hate you and draw rude graffiti on your monster, which means you have to have a mono monster and nothing else, the monster that's a big floating monolith, so they could be able to draw graffiti on you. And then you do a certain special thing, you fuse a model in a certain way, and the graffiti comes to life as a separate monster, and then you get graffiti, and it's a walking doodle. And it's so fun how it's just the same design, it's just stretched and tall, and it kind of mimics the back things by just having, like, random dotted lines and squiggles. It's really fun. I really like this guy. This is the best of all the Zans. It's the one which just brings back a monster that wasn't Zan. It's such a shame because Zan is such a cool idea, and you'd think just from looking at it would have great fusions, but it just, oh, what a shame. Oh, okay, Zan is the only one so far which has 2 special level ones. I'm gonna say this is probably one of the best Zans I've seen so far. I like the theming of, like, it's very Mewtwo colours. Like, I did think this thing does feel very Mewtwo, and I like the idea of it being vaguely resemblant of a skeleton, but it's actually just like another bug skeleton thing, like slash robot thing. Like, it's just like the framework that Zan's like mutant body was grown around with it. And I also like the face with no discernible eyes or anything. It's just a big blob, and it's all just completely destroyed and taken back. Like, why does it have a fucking boner? It's like a can opener on its groin. Why is that there? What is it supposed to represent? That doesn't match in any of the anatomy on an actual Zan. It ruins the idea of thinking this is the bones of an actual Zan, and it's just comical. This does not look like a cruel and vicious general from outer space. This looks like a joke.